Ladies and gentlemen, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, welcome. Welcome, I guess, is a fair statement here to the first episode of the Holland Report. My name is Tristan Braun. I'm going to be your guide for tonight through the local news. I guess I'll start a little bit about myself, because probably 85 to 90% of people in town don't know who I am. My name is Tristan Braun, as I stated before. I am the chairman of the Holland Cable Commission, which is to say that I broadcast the local select board meetings. I am in charge of that community calendar that happens to be scrolling down at the bottom of your screen right yonder. I am also in charge of all the content that goes on air, all of the audiobooks, the old movies, TV shows, TED Talks. What else do I got on there? Some Three Stooges on there too. That's always good. Anything and everything, basically, that goes on the air is generally my doing in some way or another. So without further ado, honestly, I mean, let's just get right into this. No time like the present to get this thing kicked off, and I want to start with an oldie, but a goodie. Oldie meaning this is very old news that I definitely should have gotten to you guys last month, but I did not. Some of you may remember there was a 5K in town not too long ago, actually incredibly long time ago. It was on October 6th at 9 a.m. I know the exact time. I remember it precisely because I was almost late to it. Kudos to the Tri-Town police forces for getting the streets locked down so well. You guys did your job to a T because I almost didn't make it. The event was put on by Stop Abuse Today. And they are a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to tackling the issue of domestic abuse. Part of that is that they hold fantastic events like this, like the Stop Abuse Today 5K. It was a very successful event, great turnout, and I had no idea what to expect going in, though, so I just grabbed the camera and I decided to head on down to Holland Elementary and see what was going on. So let's cut to that right now. The second annual Stop Abuse Today 5K race was held on Saturday, October 6th to show support for victims of domestic abuse. For nearly 20 people a minute in the United States alone, domestic abuse is all too real of a threat in their lives. And although it accounts for nearly 15% of all violent crime in the nation, abuse among partners too often goes unpunished.
Well, unfortunately, we're seeing an increase, and it would probably be nationwide, but especially in Massachusetts, of domestic violence. And for our small department to do something like this, I think it puts us to the forefront in saying we want to maybe not end it, but we want to be able to maybe prevent it and to help victims of domestic violence. So doing runs like this today and bringing awareness, that's the start.
Holland Police Chief Brian Howie chairs the nonprofit Stop Abuse Today, which provides education, outreach, and support to any and all domestic abuse victims in need. And his dedication to this cause has only strengthened the community's defense against such a tragic, deeply veiled crime.
There's just such a wonderful network with these people, and they come together and do all this amazing work and then give the proceeds to Stop Abuse Today. It's such a wonderful feeling to know that the community is supportive of what we're trying to do. I love it because there's kids running, people are bringing their kids, and then of course you have like Team Hoyt with the bikes and they're pushing people. I have so much pride for all of them and thanks for all of them, because I just think how powerful a message it is to compete in something like this. I'm sure there's people here that just came for the race, but I don't care. The fact that they're here is standing with us. It's standing with survivors and saying we're not going to let this happen anymore. We're going to talk about it. We're going to educate people about it, and then we're going to try and prevent it from happening again.
Now, obviously, if you or anybody you know is experiencing an emergency involving domestic abuse, encouraged to call 911. I mean, that's obviously the best option for anything that is either life-threatening or just generally very harmful to your health that is an immediate thing. But if you notice someone that is struggling. They're going through a tough time, something that you think they could use help with, or if you could use help yourself, you are obviously encouraged to call Stop Abuse Today. You can contact Faith Ward, is the coordinator at Stop Abuse Today. You can contact her at 860-230-3222. If she can't help you herself, I guarantee you she can connect you or anybody you know with someone that can help. It is a great network that is a worthy cause, and actually this event raised over $3,200 for Stop Abuse Today, so even more power to help out any and all victims of this terrible, tragic crime. Now, for my last story of the night, I got a little bit more information to tell you guys after this, but this is my last actual story that I want to tell you guys. For those of you who were not aware, there was a hearing in Boston back on October 30th at the Department of Telecommunications and Cable. It was held by Cox Communications, which, for those of you who don't know, is the provider here in town for cable, internet, and such and such. And this hearing was held in regards to proposed rate changes for, the basic cable packages and equipment fees, installation fees, all kinds of, just about everything that's billable, they were proposing changes. Now, these changes were fairly modest, but they were being up for debate. Myself and Town Administrator Janine Drake were in attendance at this public hearing to both hear what was, there to be said, and to obviously make a statement, because even though the town of Holland was not officially in, opposition to the rate changes, there was one request that we had, and that was to get a Boston area news channel back in our lineup. Now, that's something that Holland residents have expressed interest in doing ever since we lost WBZ back in 2015. You may remember that used to be in our lineup, no longer is. The reason for that is that the carriage consent agreement, I believe is what it's called. Essentially, it's an agreement between the local affiliate and Cox Communications so that Cox can, air their content, in our lineup. The carriage consent agreement it expired. So they lost the rights to air WBZ, and thus we lost the ability to have that in our lineup. Now, for those of you who don't understand broadcast television, it's broken up into markets. So think of it as, we'll overgeneralize this entirely. This is not exactly the case, but think of Western Massachusetts as a market and Eastern Massachusetts as a market. Now, Eastern Massachusetts, obviously being closer to Boston, we'll say that they're in the Boston market, not the chicken place, but they actually have really good chicken, by the way. Not the chicken place, but the Boston market of television. And then we'll say Western Massachusetts market, we'll say it's the Springfield market, which is actually the market that we are in, is the Springfield market. That's why we get Springfield news channels. Now, we cannot, because we are not in the market for, we're not in the Boston market, it would require a lot of negotiation and a lot of possible legal boundaries to get us a channel that is just out of our zone. That is why Cox has not made any tangible effort to negotiate a new channel for us. That being said, we spoke at the hearing and we expressed our concern and expressed the town's need for another Boston area news channel. And brought up was Channel 7, WHDH, which is an independent station owned by Sunbeam Television. And we spoke with Deborah Bass, who is a senior marketing manager at Cox Communications, and she said that a formal request was put in and that she was going to look into the possibility of providing WHDH as a replacement for WBZ. She also told me to not hold our breath, which is very, very, very reassuring. That being said, I want to let you guys in on a little bit of a scoop that I found out, which was Boston's Fox affiliate, Channel 25. You may have watched them, you may have not, who knows, but I was scrolling down to the bottom of their website looking for a phone number, and I happened to notice a user agreement from one Cox Media, which you may or may not realize incredibly obviously that is, well, that's Cox. They indeed own Channel 25. Now, I thought it was curious after finding out that little factoid that Channel 25 was not offered as a, possible replacement for WBZ. So I called them up. Well, actually, first, I shouldn't say that. I first did some research and found out that Cox Media is trying to sell off the branch of their company that owns local news affiliates. They are trying to sell off that branch of their company. So that's kind of the reason why they did not offer that to us. That being said, I am in the process of trying to figure out if they still own Channel 25, and if they do, whether we can work out a deal to get Channel 25 into our lineup so that we have a Boston area news channel and not much negotiation would have to be done. Obviously, I am not aware of all of the legalities of this. There could be a legal boundary that is in the way that keeps us from striking this deal, and whether or not they still own the channel. If they don't even own the channel anymore, it's probably not, well, it's definitely not going to happen, I would say. This is just a wild theory at this point, and I am waiting to hear back from Cox. I have not gotten an official comment from them, so I can't say anything officially negative or officially positive about it. I just wanted to report to you guys that I am working on that and possibly trying to get us back a Boston area news channel, and I just dropped my recorder, which is fantastic. And that's all the stories that I had for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Before I head out, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update as far as, well, the specifics that pertain to my job here as the cable director and what you can expect from Holland Cable moving forward. Now, there's not much that's set in stone right now. We don't have many original shows that we're producing, but there are a couple of things that you can expect and, air times and whatnot. Obviously, on your TV guide, it just says public access, and there's no actual, record of what programming is airing at what time. As far as I know, there's no way that I can get Cox to, put my schedule that I upload, to them to air. There's no way that I can get the schedule, listed on the TV guide. But there are a couple of things that are consistent that I, put at consistent times that you can expect and you can look out for. The first being the selectmen's meetings, which I've already actually highlighted at one of the select board meetings in public access. I told you guys that you can expect select board meetings to be aired at 9, noon, and 6 p.m. That's every day. Absolutely every day at 9, noon, and 6 p.m. I will be airing the latest select board meeting. So if you're ever looking to find a select board meeting, it will be airing at that time on Channel 15. All of the select board meetings that we have recorded are being uploaded to our YouTube channel, which you can find the link to on the town's website. As far as other consistent stuff, I post a bunch of old radio theater from the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all kinds of old radio theater, audiobooks, podcasts, all kinds of stuff that a lot of times people will listen to either relax or to fall asleep or just generally chill out. I will post that from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. As far as this new show is concerned, I am going to try to get you guys a brand new installment of the Holland Report once a month. Once a month, I think, is a good thing. We can update you on some of the more important things that are going on around town, and yeah, I think that'll be good. I'm not exactly sure, as this is the first episode, I'm not exactly sure when this will be airing. Depending on when this airs, you can expect it to be on at the same time. I would say every day, at least for the start. And then obviously, as you can see, the slides are no longer there, but we have the crawl at the bottom of the screen where you can find all of the community calendar information. Basically everything that is pertinent at the moment. That is updated once every week or two, depending on how many requests we get. If I get an important request that requires that I need to update it, then I'll update it even the day after or so if I get an important request. But that depends on how many requests I get. Now, in conclusion, my final point to you guys tonight is actually kind of a question. It's in regards to something I heard in passing in town hall one day. which was that here at the Public Access channel, we only air and archive the select board's meetings. That's all we've ever been asked to do. So, I mean, I just haven't touched anything else, obviously, because nobody's ever asked me to. But there are, obviously, a handful of boards and committees that meet on a regular basis. And my question to you is whether anybody in the town of Holland wants to see those meetings on the channel or on our YouTube channel. I can't promise that any of those can be broadcast live just due to technical, limitations. I don't have a video hookup to get a live feed to our broadcast equipment, unless it happens to be in the community room that they're meeting. I've only got video hookups in one room to broadcast stuff live. That being said, I can film on location, during the meeting and get you guys the meeting after the fact so that you could see what went down, what was said. Obviously, it would be, the same deal as the select board meetings. It just wouldn't be live. So I'm just going to read off a list of all of the boards and committees that meet on a semi-regular basis, and I'm going to leave it to you guys to email us at hollandcabletv@gmail.com to let us know what it is you want to see, what it is you just definitely don't want to see. Either way, shoot us an email and let us know. So that goes Board of Assessors, Board of Health, Cable Commission, Conservation Commission, Finance Board, Lake Oversight Committee, Open Space Committee, Planning Board, Trails Committee, Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Tantascwa School Committee. So, any of those that you want to see, obviously, drop us a line. Anyways, guys, I just want to thank you again for watching, and good night, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. I just hope you have a good day or a good night. Goodbye.